Previously on Getaway. That's the last of the land. Goodbye, land. In the gap between two coral reefs. That's fucking cool. What are we, like 20 hours into sailing? I think everyone's just about ready to be done. One of our battery banks is dead. The fridge and freezer is dead. His cell phone and charger is dead. The mast line that holds the fucking mast on is broken, ripped mid-sail. But we are in the Bahamas. I don't know if you can see our little sailboat. Oh, it's pouring out there, dude. It's like a river. We gotta get back to the boat. So now we're stuck on this tiny little island. We've got, what, 7-10 days here? If we can't get to North Eleuthera, we're gonna eat that plane ticket. But we were prepared in the worst case scenario to start looking at alternative options to get off the island. The first night in the Bahamas, that's what I call my hell night. The worst night I've ever had in my entire life.
Man, son.
All right, this next part I do not have much footage of, but it needs to be noted. This was the worst night of my life. Probably of all our lives, I'm not sure, but it sucked. Right? So it's pouring. We get back to the beach, we got a good buzz going. We have these kayak and this little paddleboard. We gotta make it back to the boat. But the waves are crazy. It's a full-blown storm.
I don't know what your idea of a good time is, but this ain't it.
We've got waves coming left, right. It's dark. We don't have headlamps. We have just like the little mast light. I mean, it's warm water at least because we're in the Bahamas, but we gotta just get soaked. We just gotta get out there and go, and all our stuff's there. If you wanna get to bed, quote unquote, which we'll see later is a fool's errand, we had to get back to the boat. So after some real crazy paddling, we make it out there. We tie off our paddleboard and kayak, head on board, and that boat's going. Immediately, like, you're just in the most utter state of discomfort. You're wet, you're salty, you are just rocking back and forth, you've got a buzz going. It's just like not a good vibe. And not just that, the storm's kind of sketchy. Like, these are big rocking waves. Normally with the front guy line, your boat will align accordingly so that you'll rock in a like whoop, 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 more consistent motion. That didn't happen. We were getting hit from every single which way. I didn't sleep. I was just sitting, bracing myself with one leg, just rocking with the boat. Maybe I got an hour, I don't know. Tried to do my best, but it was terrible. We wait every 20-30 minutes, having to look up to make sure that our freaking anchor is holding, because that's not all. Let's look at where we're positioned, right? If you look at a map, we're here, and there's shipwrecks and active like reefs and crap here. So if you think about where the water's coming from, west to east in this case, then we're getting just pounded. We're getting pounded. So if that anchor goes, we're toast, right? So that's something I'm considering, and my anxiety is keeping me up on that. But thankfully, anchor holds. We survived the night. The sun rises, and we decided to just hightail it out of there. Keep in mind, we still have no mast. We still have no like active use of our sails. So we try to get that motor started, and of course, it becomes an issue. It won't start. Eventually, when we're at our like literal mental breaking point, that freaking engine goes and we are going very slow, but we're going through these waves still as we navigate around. I'll show you on a map. This cove through these reefs so we could get to the protected little bay on South Bimini. And so we finally came to a rest and to a break in the storm, and we were able to bring ourselves back to some degree of composure.
And now for something completely different. pooping. You're just sticking your ass in the water.
Where they go, bro?
Dude, they just floating away. I gotta see this with my own eyes. Goodbye, friends. Dude. Goodbye, boys. Hello. We survived a storm at night. There's our boat. We're now on South Bimini. We went like all the way around there because it's a really bad storm. It's really windy. We went around this cave or coral on this point. Now we're parked over here. It's like 2 feet deep all the way out to that boat pretty much, except for the shelf that we're like anchored out, which is like 6 or 7 feet. So we literally just walked here, like from that boat, which is insane. They're talking about mangroves. What's up, boys? I really am curious about what these holes are, dude. Because they're all throughout the...
There's probably little worms.
Crabs, yeah. But they're like, yeah, and they're everywhere in these like shallows. They had 200 people and 4 cars. South Bimini.
Oh, I forgot to mention, in that storm, well, the kayak got destroyed. It's done. And then the paddleboard, it got washed off the boat. So we had no paddleboard, we had no kayak. So that's why we walked in too. And now we had to make our way via this long road to the dock where we could then catch a ride on a water ferry to North Bimini, where we could continue our search for rigging. But more importantly, hopefully we could find if our paddleboard had washed up on one of the beaches the night before. So let's take a look at that.
Got a ride into town. Get to the ferry to go to North Bimini, try and get a computer charger and figure out our rigging situation. And find the paddleboard that washed. I forgot to mention storm last night. We're hoping we can find it on the reefs or the beach somewhere. Or find someone who found it. Let's get on out. Thanks, guys.
The real name is Bimini, like bicycle 2 wheels, 2 mini islands, north and south.
Interesting.
Everyone says Bimini.
Huh?
Everyone says Bimini though.
Yeah, but it's Bimini,
Bimini.
meaning 2 mini islands, north
Yeah.
and south. And if you notice, Bimini spells B-I-M-I-N-I. When 2 eyes asleep, one always a fucking wake. This ain't no game. The city got 4 eyes, but they can't see. Now, if you notice, Exuma has pretty water, but Bimini has 3 shades of blue. Tycoy, crystal blue, deep blue. 3. Okay. What y'all got going on, man?
Well,
We got a few things.
we sailed here
You see
from
that?
Florida in a storm, and it took out some of our rigging and our fridge and some of our
Where you
chargers.
sailing from? Key West?
Key Largo.
Key Largo?
So that was a pretty rough sail, and then everything was closed yesterday. We were parked on this side. We got hit by the storm last night.
Man, don't fuck around in the Baghdad, boy. You just take a sailboat off the fucking beach in the Baghdad.
Yeah.
We can't anchor in the Baghdad, man. Lucky you ain't on the fucking beach, man.
Now we are.
Yeah, we are. We know. It was a rough.
Oh,
It was a rough night last night.
Listen, well, boy, see here? If you notice, right, all the marinas on this side, that pier gonna collapse in a minute. Bimini was here 200 years ago, way before you come here. Ain't nobody put no fucking dock or no marina and shit back there. Cruise ship go in the cold, man.
Because that's where the ocean
What
comes
make you
from.
think you got all the sense? No matter where you come from, if you come on a sailboat or a jet plane, we treat you just the same.
What's doing up there, buddy? We're trying to find the paddleboard right now. Walking the ocean. That's what we were in last night. A little bit worse than that, actually. Ooh, paddleboard recovered. Rigging information retrieved. Kind of. Back to... we gotta start on it. Back to South Bimini.
Okay, so at this point, as far as like the rigging information is concerned, the information is we're toast. We need to fly back, get rigging, or like order something and have them bring it over by plane. So that timeline is totally toast. At this point, we're planning on eating our plane ticket or somehow getting a ride to Eleuthera, but that seems ridiculous. But we have 2 weeks as far as vacation's concerned. We want to spend time with our buddy. And like, why not in the Bahamas if we're here? And so with all that, it became just more and more apparent that we should settle, chill out, get some dinner, and just think about what we're gonna do over the next couple of days and explore our options for getting off the island. Little did we know that a storm that had rolled through was really just a precursor. Thirsty turtle. We're stranded here. Deep plains now. Okay, so we're at the Thirsty Turtle on South Bimini. It's the only one with a pool table, and it's just us there with this goofy bartender who keeps singing. He's a super nice guy. And there's this little hook game that we end up playing a lot of, where you try and throw this little ring on the hook. The bartender's a utter beast at it, but we're having a good time, and we decide to stay for like 2 more games as we look at our phone and kind of explore the options to get off the island. And those options really only are like a plane, either from this like really small airport that they have, which is pretty infrequent, or more likely one of the seaplanes or one of the boats. There's a Bolero, which is like a high-speed ferry type deal. And so those look like our 2 options. But we're kind of ignorant to the weather, and we're like, you know what, we'll wait probably a week, right? We'll just hang out here in the Bahamas for a bit. And we would have continued to be ignorant for the weather, and probably would have been stranded in the Bahamas if not for one very serendipitous and blessed coincidence. That coincidence was really just some people showing up. There was this older couple that walked in with their buddy. The older guy, he's an ex-pilot. And we explain our situation, and he is very frank with us. He tells us we're not going anywhere. Nah, definitely not in a week. And maybe not even tomorrow. Because if you look at the weather, there's a huge cyclone coming in from the south. So we're like now at a loss. We're like, wait, what do you mean? We have to leave tomorrow? But they were very gracious, kind of calmed us down, because now we have this situation. We have a huge cyclone. Sean's boat's at risk. We're stranded here. He also says to Sean and us that like we can take our boat, such a gracious thing, and park it in his protected cove in front of his house. He agrees to come out at like 6 a.m. with a little tender and meet us and like bring us in to this channel. So we now have at least the most simple of tentative plans, which is we gotta get back to our boat, wake up early, get it into a safe harbor, and then see if we can't hitchhike a ride on this plane. If not, we're looking at booking one of, if not the last plane tickets off this island. And so everything just really collapsed in on itself in that moment. And now we find ourselves again a little buzzed, heading back to our boat. Luckily though, we had a ride.
To Fort Lauderdale, actually, that'd be great. We got the board. Oh yeah. Paddleboard in tow.
Makes a lot of sense. You're behind somebody's house, huh? Good thing I got my golf car working today. Look how nice this road is. What the fuck?
Yeah, this road's hella nice.
This is where all the rich people live.
But that's not all, because guess who freaking forgot to leave the lights on the mast. Well, we did. And so now it's nighttime. We've got our little dinky kayak paddleboard situation. We got a paddleboard out to this boat that we can't see in pitch black. And it's so funny because when we started paddling, we thought we were going towards our boat. There was a light out there. We're like paddling over to our light. We're like, wait, that's like a catamaran. That's not our boat. It turns out the light we're paddling to is just some random boat. Thank goodness. You can kind of like see on the horizon and see just the silhouette of like a mast. Like, dude, so sketchy. Anyway, like we could barely make out the boat, and I'm like, we gotta go that way. And I'm on, keep in mind, we have like just the paddleboard and this dinky kayak, and there's multiple of us. Me and Sean are on the paddleboard, right? So I'm like knees down like this on the front, right? Imagine this is the point of the board, and he's behind me paddling, and I'm like balancing ever so carefully. So as not to like fall in the water, because I'm on this 2 people on one paddleboard. We're in this like reef with like all these little reeds where the sharks love to freaking hide, and the waves are kind of lapping at us. There's this like big wind coming in from this cyclone that's approaching. So we get out to the point where it's like Sean's like tired. It's like so difficult to paddle with 2 people. We can barely get to the boat that we can barely see. It was pretty iconic, and you could say that we were stoked to be on board. And we had plans and had to get up early. So, Liam, back in the studio. Episode 4 is all done. It's pretty much edited. It would take like 35 minutes to fit it all in this video. So stay tuned for next episode. I noticed that like none of you are subscribed. We have less than 400 subscribers. I put a ton of effort into this. If you like it, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. If you don't, do the opposite. I will see you in the next episode.
Thanks for journeying with us. It's been a thrill. But before you head off, let's seal the deal. If you're digging the vibes, don't just flee. Like, subscribe, and join our old family.